Damn kids with their YouTubes and their avocado toast.
Okay, Boomer.
You kids don't know how good you have it.
Okay, Boomer. Hey, Dad, what's the Wi-Fi password? I need to know the Wi-Fi password.
Okay, Zoomer.
Greetings, my friends. You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here. And now, for the first time on this podcast, we are bringing you the full story of what had happened. We are giving you all the evidence, based only on the secret testimony of the miserable souls who provide this terrifying ordeal. The incidents, the places. My friend, we cannot keep this a secret any longer. Can your heart stand the shocking facts of the true story of King Kobra JFS? Let's find out. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of OK Boomer, OK Zoomer. I am your host, Ghantt Chart, and with me is the lovable Daddysquatch. Say hi to the...
Hi, Ghantt Chart.
So, we are here today because, as we've mentioned, we did like a brewing stream a while back. I really should get up to date and do more streams. I've been doing them once a month, try to get them once a month, but we'll see what we do. So while we're doing a brewing stream, a live stream, I remember talking to Daddysquatch about an interesting figure about, by the name of King Kobra. Now, King Kobra is a very interesting figure. I did show videos to Daddysquatch beforehand, but I forgot to hit record, so, because I'm an idiot. So, we're kind of doing take two, basically. So, I did talk about this, but this will be a quick refresher for Daddysquatch about King Kobra. King Kobra JFS is a lolcow who has made some response videos with people online. He probably smokes a lot of weed, probably. Smokes spice, we know that for certain, and drinks a lot of alcohol. He is very much an alcoholic. He does a lot of weird drink combos, like basically any sort of energy drink, like Monster energy drinks with any kind of beer he can get his hands on, which I know to Daddysquatch that is a sin.
Oh, God.
What would you rank that as far as a sin? Like on, what was it? Dante's Inferno, where would you put him in the 10 circles of hell for that?
Well, it's 9 levels of hell, but he's probably about a good 7. Good strong 7.
He's unemployed, and he lives in government housing, and lives on food stamps and caps for Wyoming, and people refer to him as a Boglin. Now, Kobra is a very interesting fellow. He used to make, I have some highlights of some of my favorite moments of King Kobra. He used to make magic wands and believes he's a wizard. Somebody sent him a fake letter claiming that they were Donald Trump personally thanking him for using his magic powers to stop ISIS. He had a pet praying mantis that he killed by giving the mantis a lit cigarette to smoke. He also has a ventriloquist dummy that he named Sean, who he makes really weird videos with. He also has a dad who makes borderline homoerotic art pieces. There are a lot of casted characters in what they call the King Kobra verse that are very weird, and people kind of see it as like the Boglin, shack kind of thing, the Boglin swamp. It's, I guess, the best way to describe it. Oh yeah, and I also gotta get through a few pieces. He was arrested for public intoxication, uses tactical soap to attract women, and invented his own religion dedicated to 3 Cobra gods, and says that if he was to win the lottery, he would build his gothic dream mansion. Now, I know Daddysquatch is probably looking at me thinking, Ghantt Chart, why do you watch this guy, or why do you like to listen about these people? And the answer is that in Kobra's case, I guess it's kind of like hunting, where it's a lot of just stuff with occasional things that come out. Now, with King Kobra, thankfully with people like the Boglin Chronicles, we have been able to do like collated videos to kind of simplify things. But the other thing too is that the Boglin Chronicles had brought up the mead business, which is the business for today's episode. Now, Daddysquatch likes to brew his own beer. We've established that. And as a result of that, well, I wanted to show Daddysquatch another brewmaster of King Kobra. So I got these videos here for you all. I'm gonna skip this.
YouTubers, we are about to embark on an adventure of homemade winemaking. I Google it, and you can use just plain old instant yeast to make wine. You need like 3 ingredients basically. You need some kind of juice, pure cane granulated sugar, and some instant yeast, and of course a measuring cup. Not sure how this is going to turn out, but I watched a video on YouTube. And we got some juice right here from Langer's. I did a review on it. This is the apple peach mango. The fall right around the corner. This would make for a nice hard cider wine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And you can basically use any fruit juice you want to do this, as long as it has fruit and some kind of sugar. The sugar and the yeast will activate.
Now, I'm pausing this here because this is a point that Daddysquatch that I wanted to ask. So, he said earlier that you can basically use any kind of yeast. Is that true? When it comes to, like, making alcohol, or not really? You gotta use a specific yeast.
Well, if you want to be something that tastes somewhat consistent, use brewer's yeast. And that's, later on we'll discuss some different yeast to use, but in desperation you can always use whatever yeast is around. But myself personally use the right yeast for the right brewing.
Yeah, because like with King Kobra, like there is a theory that the reason why he's doing this is because, like I mentioned earlier, King Kobra lives on food stamps, and one of the things is that they have certain regulations on certain items you can't buy with food stamps, and there's a theory that the reason why he's starting this process is because you can't buy food stamps, you can't buy alcohol with food stamps. And as a result, he's like, well, if I can't buy the alcohol, I'll just buy the ingredients to make it.
And, so let's see if this makes a hard wine cider. We got some C and H pure granulated sugar, the premium shit. I've never made wine before, but I've always wanted to try it. And I've always heard it's super easy to do, so I'm like, this would be a fun little weekend project to start. Carefully. I don't have a funnel, so we have to be somewhat diligent about it. And this isn't gonna work. I need to use my hands. Son of a bitch.
Oh
Son
no.
of a bitch.
Oh no. Oh, Cobes, no.
We're just gonna have to take our time and get the sugar in there, unless I have a funnel I could use. Taking your time to pour the sugar in there by hand, I guess it's just a labor of love. One way to look at it, I guess.
You're not supposed to.
No, you shouldn't be touching the sugar with your hand.
Wash this down.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and assume that this man doesn't wash his hands beforehand.
Even if you wash your hands, you shouldn't touch it.
Like with the brewing process, you were using like some sort of salt.
Vikings, and they made wines and meads and beers. So this is definitely a part of my culture. I dig it.
I'm sure they would be proud, Cobes.
Yeah, let's just dump a
So you
bunch
can
of
get
that
into
in
the
there.
bottle.
There we go. That should do it. Bloody hell. That's
You're not British,
That's pretty
Combs.
full. I want a little bit more just to be safe.
Ooh.
There we are. Shake it up. Shake it, but don't break it.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
And now one thing that there's a lot of shaking in this, and whether you're doing his way of doing it or maybe some we look at later, there's a real easy way to get the sugar to dissolve in the fruit juice. You get a pan, put water in it, heat it up to like 120, 130, get it warm, and you put your fruit juice in there. And as it warms up, the sugar on the inside will heat up, and then it dissolves the fruit juice a lot easier than shaking and shaking and shaking and shaking.
So it's kind of like with super saturated liquids.
Right.
You know how you heat them up to help
Out of this and really get that sugar dissolved into the juice.
Yep.
Oh yeah, take it. Oh fuck yeah, take it, Charles. Take it. Oh yeah, fucking go. Was making some homemade wine. Oh fuck yeah. You decide to make this. This is for 21 and up. You know, it's a cheap way to make alcohol. I mean, it takes a hot minute to age. It's gonna take like a good 2 to 4 weeks to ferment, but it might taste good. And hey, if it works, I might start making it more often. That is shook the fuck up. Fleischmann's Rapid Raise, and this is a instant yeast. You can use instant yeast to make wine. Alcohol's getting pretty fucking expensive, dude. And they're always coming out with these crazy new flavors, which is fun to try on the channel, but people get bored of it. They're like, Kobra, do something interesting for once. You like alcohol so much, you should make your own. I'm like, okay. Stick the wine in this dark closet where it can just age and do its thing.
I just love that closet just
See how it
has
turns
random
out, folks.
crap everywhere.
I'll give you a pro tip when you're making the hooch. They can explode on you. So you do need to burp it every 2 days. For at least 4 weeks. It will build up pressure. So
I'm afraid to let him burp it.
Very slowly unscrew it. The lid just
I just love the...
Okay, so that probably would have worked. Okay, but then he likes to open it up a little more and sip it. I'm like, no.
You can get
Yes.
botulism making this.
So I did show this
so be
to
careful.
Daddysquatch earlier. And I
want to end
did remember
making my own beers. I think it'd be a cool little hobby YouTube, or making my own soft drinks too, you know. You know, this took like 20 minutes to throw together. Like, you spend 20 minutes making this delicious homemade hooch, and then it's like, boom, the bottle makes a mess and explodes. Or you could just leave the lid semi-on, kind of like that, and it'll just burp itself, but then you run the risk of spilling it, so... You know, there are so many opportunities and endless ideas for wines and beers and what have you, and it could be a really fun way to be creative with the channel and go beyond just, you know, mixing Jack Daniels with Monster.
I mean,
which to be
Jack
fair,
Daniels with Monster.
Honey,
That's the 8th level.
They're Monster Green. Oh yeah, Kobra Sweet Honey. 300 milligrams of all natural caffeine. Look out, Starbucks.
Yeah, look out, Starbucks. It's the Cobes. Cobes is here to show you what's what. See if there's anything, Alright, let's skip this.
Thing fucking
2 hours later.
Exploded. I burped it just a few seconds ago. And leave the lid barely on there so it has like a little bit of room to escape. But the lid ain't coming off unless you keep twisting it. That thing almost exploded, dude, but I stopped it. I'm going to add just a little bit more sugar to it.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be.
To top it off.
You shouldn't be adding ingredients in there. Once you get it all sealed up, leave it alone.
Oh, and I can see why. So, here's the thing about Kobra is that the reason why he's adding a lot of sugar is... Yeah?
When
You
you're...
were saying something?
Yeah, I'm just saying is that one of the big things fermentation, you get good fermentation going, and usually right at the beginning, is it creates a lot of CO2. It's a byproduct of fermentation. So you have to have a way of letting it burp, but not letting gas in. So you got to be able to let the gas out without it coming back in.
Okay.
So.
But I think the thought process that Kobra has with like adding sugar to it, you know, this we'll just call it his hooch. His idea is that by increasing the amount of sugar in the brewing process, that it would ultimately lead to him, you know, having a more alcoholic beverage. And Daddysquatch, would you concur with this thought process?
Not necessarily.
Because I imagine there's other factors involved.
There's a lot of other factors
that you have to consider.
Yep.
But it's like, if I get half a bag of sugar, then it'll be half alcohol.
If you're doing instant yeast, just to use the entire goddamn packet.
I love this unit of measurement. The entire goddamn packet.
Is that metric?
The bubbles, and that's a really good sign.
No, it's imperial.
Oh, okay.
It's the best system. Its number of World War II is 1. Alright. What could go wrong? Yes, what could go wrong? To be continued. Okay. So, that is our setup for the first of the many brews that, you know, we're going to show. But I want to show you the next video, which I showed to Daddysquatch. And before I do that, I do want to mention this little factoid, which I did bring up in the take one, but I do want to bring it up again, you know, because take one no longer exists. But in take two, I remember talking with a friend of mine, you know, that I remember talking to him about how, you know, that I was going to do a stream of this, and how my friend said, don't punish Daddysquatch by making him watch this. And I just love the fact that a complete stranger who has no idea who you are, Daddysquatch, has more mercy than I do. But I'm sure you'll find a way to get revenge from Beyond the Grave when you pass.
Oh.
Or heck, you may not even wait until Beyond the Grave. You'll find one right now.
Oh, Ghantt Chart, I'd love to give you grief, and you know that.
Yeah, and I give it right back to you.
Sometimes.
Yes. So now we got our next video.
Again. Ah, fuck.
Oh. So I'm going to go to this point. 1206.
What you know about the vape life? Vape the wine. That's hilarious.
Vape the wine.
Here's the wine.
Okay, so this is 1 week after the wine making.
Oh, yeah. And
Oh,
you can see
God.
fermentation bubbles right there, which is a pretty good sign. I don't have one of those things.
Something is swimming in it.
So what I do is I'll take
comments.
it, go like that. Oh, shit. Should have tightened the lid. Okay, there we go. So what I'll do to mix it, just give it a little shake. Give it a little... One of these numbers,
I love the fact that Boglin Chronicles is adding
and when
these
you
comments.
do that, all that pressure is going to build up in your homemade wine jug. I kind of want to try a little sip right now, but I don't think it's ready.
Oh no!
Yes, no.
Protection on my
Cobes, no! Do not sip from the bottle. Oh God! So
I'll try a little
I don't know.
sneaky taste of that.
So,
Ooh.
I don't know much about brewing, but I do know that you don't do that because
fermenting.
you can't add bacteria to the
Just
concoction.
a tiny little sip to see what it
Yep.
tastes like. That's not half bad, YouTube. No, I did not learn how to make this in jail.
I'm not going to torture you by showing you his other concoctions, but Kobra is one of those people that has some really weird food creations.
Yeah, that one.
You know,
From the first take, that was the 9th level of hell.
yes. He has a lot of crazy food concoctions, not just with alcohol or even just with, like, there is one recipe, I'm not going to show you the video, that might be a different time if people suggest it, but he has a recipe which, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's basically what you would envision somebody would make if they were stoned out of their minds.
Well, he just kept throwing.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I saw a how-to recipe of some Las Vegas bartender doing it. Hold up.
Any bartender in Las Vegas would tell you not to do this, Cobes. Botulism coming in nicely.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna fucking take. It took 2 little tiny sips of it because I'm curious to see how it tastes. Not half bad.
Oh, God.
I had to try a couple sips of it for Bob Barker. That's actually not
But yeah, with every single food creation, I kind of lost my train of thought, but with every food creation, he never makes something that he's like, oh, man.
I told that vacuum cleaner, son of a bitch. Ouch.
That's worth the video.
The same fucking tone I subbed earlier, dude. Come on.
But yeah, with every single food concoction, I have yet to have seen a food creation of his where it's like, oh, this tastes disgusting.
Yeah, I'm fine, Jeremy. I just fucking stubbed
He stubbed his tank angry.
Oh, fuck. I know I subbed earlier, too. Fuck. I gotta grab some water. We're good. Oh, fuck. Going live on my YouTube for a bit.
I think that's the end of that. But yeah. So, obviously, you don't drink your booze, you know, in the middle of that, you know, to get more of that hooch.
Well, I mean,
it's just not something you do.
If you open it up, you're going to have some partially fermented, not completely fermented. You can drink it now in a lot of breweries or whatever, or distilleries. They may taste something in there, but they have a sterile device they're putting in the batch to bring out a sample, and they close off the thing and then sample it. But they don't put it back in there. So, and when as soon as his lips touched the thing and he closed it back up, now you just introduced some more interesting ickies in the thing. It may go botulism, it may not, but it's a high chance it's going to still go bad. You'll get mold, you'll get something in there. Because it's a high sugar environment.
So I hear a lot of people talking about that Cobes is gonna, if Cobes keeps doing this, he's gonna die from botulism. But I have a theory, and my theory is that, so you know, like you ever heard the dirt theory, which is the idea that the more clean you are, the more susceptible to sicknesses you are because your immune system hasn't developed, you know, isn't, because they encounter a lot of bacteria and germs and stuff like that. They don't have as much experience battling them, so you don't have as strong immune system. My theory is that because Cobes is living in this, you know, like you're looking at this environment in his apartment and is eating all this weird stuff. My theory is that it just creates, like, the strongest immune system possible.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, if he's taking it down by doing a lot of drinking, eating a lot of junk food, you may have resilience, but you're also, when your body does go down, as far as that, it's hard to fight it back. You need the other stuff to go with it too, so you can't constantly, you know, be drinking fruit juice. Pooch.
Or another counterpoint. I remember learning about this in a college course about public speaking, and how they were talking about this demonstration that, you know, there was this baseball player who would drink a bunch of alcohol, and one of the baseball players wanted to demonstrate to him that, you know, if you keep drinking this stuff, it'll kill you. So he brings in like a live bowl of worms, and he pours in a bottle of gin, and the worms just immediately die. And it's like, what did you learn from this? That if I drink gin, that I'll never get worms? And maybe it's that. Maybe it's the alcohol that's helping him.
No, who knows? I don't know. I just when we watched it and he was making his last batch of stuff, I was like, "Oh,
Oh
why?
yes,
Why?"
we have to watch this. Daddysquatch, we have to watch this again.
So let's just get into it.
You're starting to have PTSD memories. So this is his next batch. Oh. And I'm shocked. He has a funnel. So, first things first, we gotta get that sugar in there.
You could do it at the kitchen table or over near the sink.
We'll start off with 2 cups of sugar.
2 cups of sugar. I also like the stuffed animals of Kobras that he has on his chair. They do look cute.
Okay.
Hey, I'm man enough to admit it.
Oh. Ask your mom what. Ta-da! See now,
You should probably rinse that out. Or
you should sterilize that, but
yeah. But as we have established, there is no sterilization process.
no.
Also, I'm also considering like the bottle that he's using, because he's using a plastic bottle. I don't know. What do you think, Daddysquatch? Do you think?
Plastic will work as long as you sterilize it.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then we got the bananas. He's handling them with his bare hands, and he's just pouring it in there.
Local honey.
Oh yes, honey. The nectar of the gods, or the bees. I remember watching this on Kiwi Tapes, and they talked about how doing that will also add some chances of botulism.
It could.
Just look at that. Also, I don't think they add whole bananas to give a banana flavor to alcohol. I imagine they use like some artificial ingredients or something. But then again, Daddysquatch is a purist who believes in music laws.
I do.
Only hops, barley, water, and yeast. Nothing else. None of this fruity beer. And so he's pouring some hot water to... Every batch is a little bit more concerning. Pouring in some hot water to get some of that extra honey in there. Oh dear God. Alright, so he's
Add some
continuing to shake
Reese's
it. Oh
peanut butter
no.
chocolate syrup.
No!
9th level.
Not the syrup!
9th level. That's where you belong.
9th level, not the 10th?
There's no 10th level.
Oh, no.
9th is the bottom.
Couldn't get the whole bottle in there, but that's enough. What we need it for.
That's too much. Oh God, no. God, no. Oh God, no. Oh no. What a great tribute to his Scottish fighting hamsters. I'm sure they would be proud.
Reese's Minis,
Oh.
just drop them in there.
Oh
Taking
no.
these Reese's Minis, dropping them in there.
Don't put him in there. The first time I showed you this, I remember you said to me, Ghantt Chart, if there are any bodily fluids in this, I'm disowning you.
That's true.
I'm gonna add one more ingredient.
I am
I
not
was
that
gonna add
cruel.
like a spot of Jif creamy peanut butter to it, but with that Reese's peanut butter ice cream spread having peanut butter in it, we're not gonna need it.
So
Plus,
that's
this
the
is
one
already,
point
like,
where he draws the line.
practically almost full. When you're adding bacon to your mead to make it bacon flavored mead,
No!
you want
No! No! He's adding bacon.
I know.
Okay, has there... Okay, yeah, I remember the last time we were talking about this. You only add, like, bacon to, like, Bloody Marys, but you don't add meat or bacon or stuff, because there's no sugar. It's all just protein. Well, there's some fat, but the whole point of brewing is that you need the sugar. You know, that the yeast is digesting the sugar. You know? Because after all, that's what you said to me, you know, that beer is yeast poop.
Beer, well, no, alcohol is yeast poop. The
Exactly.
yeast eats the alcohol or the sugar and produces alcohol and CO2.
Yeah. So there's no
the,
point to add the bacon.
That's right.
bacon bits to do it because it's already cooked and cured, so it won't get all funkified and rotten.
Oh, so it doesn't get funkified and rotten. We're long past that, Cobes. Long past that. Oh, this is the best part.
You want to dump this entire
tries to add a
container of
funnel.
bacon bits into our wine.
So as you can see, the bacon bits are falling down the funnel, so he's just going to push them in there. No.
Yeah, this guy is. Oh.
Yeah, just put it in there. Put it in there with your bare hands, Cobes.
Bacon's clogging up the funnel. Hold up 1 second.
That's the universe telling you that you shouldn't put bacon in the bead.
There should be enough sugar
No.
for our juice and our yeast to ferment. Got to cook the whole damn container. And just for shits and giggles, we'll add a little bit of Jif Creamy.
I thought you said we weren't going to add the peanut butter.
Just a little splash of that.
A splash of peanut butter. And he's using his hand
Just
to
a
push
little
it
bit in there
in.
for flavor.
Yep.
The juice we're going to be making it from is this Mucho Mango.
At this point, you don't even need the juice.
I don't know if you can fit the juice in there.
I know. Wait. Oh no.
This is where we're going to acquire a lot of
He's not gonna
shaking
do-
because of how thick all the ingredients are.
Oh dear. Daddysquatch, what do you think we should name the... You know, like how every single beer, you know, has to have, like, a clever name, you know, or every booze. What would you call this? You know, like...
Bad.
You got the... Bad!
It's called bad.
I was gonna go with shit, but I think that's a little on the nose, so...
Bad.
More juice.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Combs. No.
Yuck. Ugh.
Bye-bye, teeth. This'll do it. I mean, I don't know. Oh, don't say that about coves. Come on, that's not nice.
Oh God, that guy.
They don't look
So,
very
I told this-
appetizing, but there you go.
How is that appetizing?
That should be enough room for that.
Literally brewing diarrhea.
Well,
Put
that's
an
kind of what it
airlock
looks
hole
like.
in the middle right there on that little dimple in the middle of the lid.
So we're gonna drill a hole into the dimple to give it some.
And we'll rinse that lid off.
Let it out a
quick.
little bit.
And I dropped the lid down the fucking drain.
Oh, God.
Lid down the drain. Luckily, I have a fucking spare on that goddamn other bottle.
Okay.
I went into my kitchen sink and tried to rinse that lid off, and I dropped that spare lid that I had into the garbage disposal, and I wasn't going to try to fish it out. So we're just going to use the lid from the other bottle. Our wine-making yeast.
At least you rinsed it.
We'll let this fucking ferment for a week, and then we're going to strain it, just like we did last time.
And how are you
Pour
going to
that in
strain
there.
it? With your teeth.
Put the lid on. Stir that around.
I feel bad for the yeast particles that are in there.
Put the balloon
I know they
on.
can't feel pain, but still.
There we are. Hold that balloon in place.
We get an update from our boy Coves about his, I love the title, radioactive weed. Alright,
It's your
just
boy
volume.
King Cobra back at it with another video. I was checking on my mead this morning, and well, I had to drain.
I love how
some
proud he
liquid
feels
out,
of
make it more
himself.
watery. Here's the mead in question. I had to replace the balloon because it was, you know what I'm saying, it was, the airlock was starting to push the mushed up banana into the balloon here, so I had to replace the balloon.
Maybe that's the reason why you shouldn't have a banana in the brewing process.
No. No.
And another packet of 1118 winemaking yeast, which does
So he added a
really good
second
for
pack
wines
of
on the
yeast.
colder side.
Why?
I've noticed. Banana,
Well, I'm thinking like he's like, oh, more yeast, more
peanut
alcohol.
butter, chocolate, Reese's peanut butter cup mead. Should be pretty freaking delicious when it's done fermenting. But yeah, it's got 2 packets of.
I think this is not even a day after
now.
this is brewing,
And
if I'm
it's a lot
my
more
mind's or
liquefied.
if my memory serves
So we're gonna let
correctly.
this mother age for a hot minute. But yeah, chocolate, banana, peanut butter, bacon, mead, with like a hint of mango juice. This should be an interesting tasting mead for sure. It doesn't look very appetizing just because of the color. Bacon bits.
Oh, it's because of the color that it doesn't look appetizing.
Oh, no.
So, before we continue, I do want to give like a life story a little bit. So, when I was a kid, I remember doing something similar to this where I made this ungodly, like, it was like a midnight snack kind of thing, and I made this ungodly creation with like all these different ingredients and shaking it up in a Ziploc bag and consuming it all and thinking, oh, this is going to be the next big thing. And then I tasted it, it's like, yeah, threw it away. But here's the thing. I was a kid when I did this. This guy's an adult.
Yeah,
He is an adult.
I agree.
Let that sink in.
Thank you to the fans who like watching me make the mead. I'm enjoying the process of fermenting my own alcohol. Oh. There we are.
No. Oh.
I have a feeling this is going to be some really, really good really good mead.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this guy also smokes cigarettes. And maybe that's the reason why he's able to drink this without, retching, because I imagine when you smoke, it takes away your sense of smell and taste. I'm just trying to think of something. Just anything to explain all this ridiculousness.
He doesn't care. And the thing is, if you were to make it just like that and to even take a sip of it, oh boy. Oh boy.
Daddysquatch, how much money would someone have to pay you to drink that?
There ain't enough money.
Right now, I'm just draining out some of the liquid, so it's got room to burp.
Oh.
Leaving the pulp in there.
The pulp? Oh god, there's pulp in there?
From what?
I think it's the banana. Oh god. I remember. Jeff, this guy is for real. The crud is still in there.
Yuck. I don't know why you watch it.
Okay, should I stop? Should we stop?
We got the point.
Yeah, okay. So, that is King Kobra's mead making processes. So, Daddysquatch recommended me another video, which we're going to take a look at, which Daddysquatch says is like, let's do like a little compare and contrast, like the right way to make the mead from this kind of process and the wrong way. So let's take a look at that. So this is from Cat72. Give her a shout out. But yeah, let's see the process of making wine.
Today we're gonna show you how to make the wine with the store-bought juice. Mostly because my girls have asked, and it's not that hard. First of all, you want to get something that is 100% juice. Even 100% Welch's grape juice is good. You just have to make sure you look at the labels. You don't want to.
That's another thing too, is that Cobes has made other batches of mead, and I think he also used Tampico juice, which I think is, like she was mentioning before, 100% juice. I don't think you would want to use Tampico, because I imagine that has loads of preservatives in it. I mean, right. I imagine that preservatives aren't the best thing to use when brewing, because that kills the yeast.
Right, that's why you listen to what she's going to tell you to look for.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Anything that says sodium benzoate or potassium sorbate, they say if you see that on the label, then get another juice, get a different juice. But a lot of ones I look at are basically like that. Treetop, or let's see, where's the one for this one? Oh, yeah, ingredients are pretty basic right there. And don't get any cocktails, because that's not going to work. You need 100% juice. So you take some of it out, put it in a glass, because you're going to need room for your sugars. And I have 1 1/2 cup of white sugar. And so you'll want to pour that in. In your juice. Not too hard.
Now see, Cobes, she doesn't use her hands.
Very good. But you should still sterilize your funnel and your measuring
I'm
cups.
gonna make 2 batches today,
Yes.
but I'll show you with the one. Right there. Try and get it all in there. You wanna take your lid. You're gonna kind of give this a shake and mix it up really good. Get your sugar all
Pause for a
mixed up in
second.
there.
Now, as she's shaking this, she's going to do it a couple times, but you'll see that the sugar keeps settling to the bottom. That's why I say if you put that in some, 120, 140 degree water, let that whole thing kind of get warmer, that sugar will dissolve in there.
Okay.
Just a hint without having to boil it.
Yeah. Daddysquatch, do you think that we should try making some of this? Would you treat the way this woman makes it, not the way that Cobes does it?
I will tell you what, for the spirit of this, because by the way, we did drink the beer we made, and yum. So when next time you come visit, I got a bottle for you, so you get to taste the beer we made for that thing. We got it bottled, we carbonated it, and your mother and I had a couple beers last week, and very good, very tasty.
Okay.
Some talk about other additives. I've thought about just using pressed juice that I pressed myself, but when they start talking about adding acids and crazy things like that and racking it 3 times, that's when I get lost. So I just stick to this. And so this is the yeast that I get. I just bought it off of Amazon. And you use about 1/8 of a teaspoon. You don't need a whole lot. And
you mean we don't use a whole goddamn package?
Sprinkle that in.
Nope.
And you can take some more of your juice there and pour some back in there to kind of top it off.
That helps mix up your yeast.
Carb in, or whatever they would like to call it. I'll show it to you in a minute. I never knew what to call it.
See how much sugar sits right in the bottom. That's
Yep.
See, again, you heat it up, you can get it to dissolve. That just helps with fermentation.
Yeast is all mixed up.
Okay.
And then I have one of these. You can buy these on Amazon as well. Push it down. And then this is the little unit. I was gonna say.
So pause.
I remember.
Fill it up
Yep,
to
that's an
water.
airlock.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in our brewing episode.
Right, and the airlock basically says so you don't have to burp it. The CO2 goes out, but the atmospheric air doesn't come back in. An air. But again, what she doesn't do is that anything that touches the stuff, you have to sterilize. So she's sitting there with her hand, but when you put that plug in the top, make sure that's sterilized. Make sure that the airlock is sterilized, and then make sure the fluid that you're putting in there, it shows you, is sterilized. It just, the secret of beer making or wine making, whatever, is the less germs you introduce to it, the more consistent the taste.
Gotcha.
It has lines on it that you can fill the water to, and these, I think I bought them that you could get 2 off of Amazon for a pretty cheap price, not too bad. Then you want to try and push it down in there. That's going to create that seal, so it'll let all your gases out, because your yeast is going to eat all that sugar and it's going to turn it into wine. I think they say it can be about some odd days to weeks, and I think we usually try and go about maybe 3 weeks. You just want to keep an eye on your thing and make sure that it starts bubbling. If you see bubbles coming up through there, then you know the yeast is doing what it needs to do. If you go some odd days and you don't see any bubbles, not at all, something might have gone wrong, and I've had that happen before when I accidentally bought a juice that was not 100% and it was cocktail. It did not work. So
yeah, so that was our episode on, do you have any comments regarding Cobes, like any advice that you would like to give Cobes if he was to, by chance, see our channel?
Sure, Cobes. You need to buy a few things. So, the lady showed you that plug and that bung on there. You can get that on Amazon. It's called an airlock. It's a split brewer airlock, and that costs you for a 2-pack with the airlock and the bung is like $6.39. And then for the yeast, all you have to look is brewer's yeast, and you put brewer's yeast for wine in there for Amazon, and you'll get all different things. But you can get 10 packs of yeast, which will last you forever, for $10. Now, my suggestion for yeast is, if you're not doing this very frequently, take your yeast packets, put them in your refrigerator. The yeast lasts a lot longer if it's kept cold and dry. And so that way, if you don't make this very often, that'll last you a long time. But the last thing you need to buy is, and that you get 10 packets of yeast for $10.
Okay.
You know, instead of getting one packet for $5, it's like you might as well spend and get the pack. But the other thing is Santa Clean. It's powdered cleanser that you use to basically wash everything prior to using it. You usually, while you're washing with your hands will get sanitized too. It's about $6 for a bag, and that treats a lot of different things. But when you make that jar, keep the lid, sanitize it, such that when it's done fermenting, you can pull off the bung, you can put that screw lid back on, and then you've got a container for your wine. Now, if you want to put it in smaller containers, you could put them in like water bottles and have a funnel and just pour it in there. That way you can keep, drink one, keep the other one for later. Or, if you're going to visit your friends, hey, try this. It gives you something to transport with. But again, if you put it in a different container, sanitize it.
Also,
That way,
no bacon bits, no banana.
no bacon bits, no peanut butter cups.
Okay. So that was our episode of OK Boomer, OK Zoomer. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a comment or leave a like down below. You can find other episodes of ours on Spotify and on YouTube. Let us know if you guys got any ideas. If you'd like us to talk about a certain topic, we'll make sure to do that. And thanks again for joining us for this episode. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
So what I have before all of you is the beer that Dad made during our last stream, which, as you can see, it's a nice little color to it. Which, yep. So I figured I would try it and see how it goes. So a little update for those who stick around. Not bad. Has a nice citrusy flavor to it.